When you walk through a forest like this, you just think, wow, Minecraft is just so absolutely beautiful. Until you walk into my garden and your brain glitches so hard that... Now, of course, in order to actually fix my garden, there is quite a long list of things that we need to do. I don't want to bore you with the logistics right now, but there are some pretty exciting, fun ideas on this list, as you can see. So if you are interested in any of these ideas, you best stick around until the very end of the video so you don't miss any of these incredible details. Anyway, we need to go ahead and get started on the very first of these steps. Now, the very first step that we're going to be implementing is simply some handrails to go around the flower beds over here on this side of our garden. So the flower beds are going to be these two central areas, and all we really need to do is get some railings along the path here on the inside. We don't actually care about any railings on this outside path, so we don't actually have to worry about that at all. Using some cobble deep slate stairs, we're just going to real quickly install this fence. Alright, there we go. Got the railings all installed on this side here. Looking pretty solid. However, we are missing a step here. Alright, now this is missing one more thing, so I went ahead and grabbed some pale moss carpets, and if we just go ahead and put these all across the top of these railings. There we go, look at that. These railings are looking so much better. Of course, this area still looks a little rough, but just already it looks so much better than it did just a minute ago. So now we need to, of course, actually go ahead and start putting stuff inside of these flower beds. So let's go ahead and grab some flowers, shall we? Now, of course, as with any Minecraft project, it's never as easy as just going to grab some flowers because we need a lot of flowers. And of course, I do not have a means to get them. So we need to go ahead and set up a little flower farm here in this flower forest. Hopefully we can end up getting all the flower types we're going to need if we just set it up right here. If not, we will have to build multiple of these things, but I'm really hopeful we'll get it the first time. Thankfully, it really does not take too many resources to actually go ahead and build one of these things. So now we can go ahead and set up the system that is going to bone meal everything. So if we just go ahead and put in our dispenser right here. Finally, we can go ahead and hook up a hopper system here so we can actually get bone meal into that dispenser. Hopefully now, if we actually go ahead and load bone meal into here, and then we go ahead and start the system. Yeah, there we go. That is extraordinarily loud, but there it goes. We should get all the flowers we need in absolutely no time. Well, that did not take very long at all. So those are all the alliums we're going to need for this project. Unfortunately, flowers in Java work weird compared to what I'm used to with Bedrock, so only alliums are spawning in this section. So I think I have to actually go to another spot where there are the pink tulips I'm going to need and build another one of these. So I think what I have to do is build another flower farm down here, right next to all the pink tulips, and it should just... That's not pink. That's a pink tulip. So I think if I build another one right here, I can then get these different tulip colors. So I guess I gotta go get all the stuff to build another one. I've actually changed my mind. We're gonna go ahead and put this pink tulip flower farm over here instead. So here I can get the pink tulips, I get oxeye daisies, and I get lily of the valley. So going ahead and putting it right here, I think is gonna work a lot better. Also, it's a bit more of an open space, so it'll be easier to fit the farm in this location. And with that, the second flower farm is now completed. We can go ahead and jumpstart that system. There we go. All the flowers are being mass produced. Once again, we just have to wait. Ran out of bone meal. And with that, we now have all of the pink tulips we will be needing, a full shulker box plus a little bit. Now there's one more flower we have to actually go obtain, and that is the blue orchid. So we have to go ahead and collect the stuff to build one more flower farm and make our way over to a swamp. Well, that will definitely be more than enough for the blue orchids. So all that we have to do now is start placing flowers. This is actually just going to look so good. I'm so excited. Plus, these shader packs that I use, the Solace shader, has a very nice detail where all the flowers at nighttime, like, glow. They'll glow the color of the flower. They don't actually emit, usable light to prevent mob spawning, so that's why we will be doing more magical lighting later on. But they will emit a beautiful glow that really is just going to make this place feel so magical. You can already kind of get that sense of how they're going to be glowing. I'm so excited for the sun to set. It's going to look so good. Ignoring all of the big scary monsters that are spawning everywhere, look at how magical this is. I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. All right, let's get back to work in the morning. Excuse me, sir. What do you think you're doing here? You're kind of trespassing, and I need you to just get out of here. What I thought. What I thought. So scared they're just like jumping off the cliff. I'm just that scary. Knew it. They're so intimidated by me. Finally, that should hopefully be enough poppies to go ahead and get this thing finished. I have been waiting for like 2 hours to get enough flowers to actually finish this, and this should do it. Oh, this is going to be real close. With 2 poppies to spare, check the map. Okay, there's a few holes, so that's great. We don't have quite enough. We're going to need 4 more flowers, but you know what? That is something I can fix on my own time, and it's not really a major issue at the moment. All right, so now that we have all these beautiful, beautiful flower beds in place, what is next? Well, as you see over here, we got 2 smaller oak trees. I intend to put another one right over here just to kind of frame the space a little bit better. So let's go ahead and real quickly make that appear. And there it is. We now have a brand new tree in our area here, looking absolutely fabulous. Now, all that we have left to do in this area is add the giant orange tree in the center and the lighting. So let's go ahead and add this orange tree, shall we? You know, I made this honeycomb farm so that I could use candles in all my builds. But even then, I'm always waiting for honeycomb. Always. I never, ever have enough. It's such an annoying thing to deal with. I might need to make like 4 more of these because I use so many candles in my builds. It's actually insane. But yeah, we're just waiting for honeycomb, as usual. Still waiting for honeycomb. Can you not spawn a creaking in the nether? Probably not, right? Because there's no daytime cycle. Well, thankfully it only took about 20 more minutes, but we do have all of our bone meal now. Or not bone meal, candles. Now, we still have to get all of the resin. So I did figure out you actually have to be in the overworld to make that work, which I guess makes sense. I was really hoping you could do it in the nether so I could get it while getting the honeycomb, but oh well. I guess we're just going to have to go ahead and set up a creaking now and farm resin. All right, let's start collecting some resin. Okay, I wasn't recording just then, but a chicken jockey just ran up in my face and the sweeping edge got him while I was fighting the creaking. So I now have the lava chicken disc. I actually haven't heard this thing yet, so I'm really excited to go ahead and put this in the jukebox. Unfortunately, the creaking has just despawned for the day, but we do have a pretty good amount of resin so far. We've got around 1/3 of what we're going to need. Probably a little bit less actually, but that's all right because we now have a brand new music disc to go ahead and give a listen to. Now, I don't remember, but I might have a jukebox inside here somewhere. Okay, no, I do not. We have to go craft one. All right, we now have a jukebox, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and give this thing a listen, shall we? That was a pretty smooth transition, wasn't it? From starting the lava chicken disc right into the time lapse. I guarantee you didn't see that coming. Anyway, I have, of course, finished the beautiful orange tree. Now, something that does kind of bother me a little bit is the resin is not very visible from far away. And even up close, it's not the most visible on the leaves because I have the 3D foliage texture pack on. So the 3D effect of the leaves does hide some of the resin. And when the leaves blow in the wind, it shifts the texture and just like makes the resin completely disappear. But the candles do look absolutely wonderful and they do look like hanging oranges, which was the goal. And I love it. So you might be thinking that we're pretty much done on this left-hand side of the cathedral, to which you would be wrong. We still have to install lighting. So I've gone ahead and designed this lamp post thing here. Now, I'm not entirely sure just how much ground this is going to cover when it comes to lighting, because I don't want these to be too frequent. So we may have to add some other hidden lighting in here, but I think these will look pretty cool, have them dotted around the outside of our path. I think it'll look really cool. I like the design. And at the very tippy top here, I set up a redstone lamp with a daylight sensor. So the lanterns will always be emitting light. And then when the sun actually sets, the redstone lamp will turn on. So I already went ahead and collected the materials to build, I think, 32 of these things. So let's go ahead and start adding some of these. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have 3 of these lampposts installed, and they do look pretty cool. And if I go ahead and turn on my shaders, they really do look cool. And from a distance, they look really cool, actually. I'm excited to see what they look like in the daylight, but as you can see, they clearly do not light up anywhere near enough of the environment. Now, in the shaders, as we've already covered, all the flowers do glow, but they don't actually emit light to prevent mob spawning, which we can see by the orange coloration here using Lightly. So I'm curious, if I go collect some colored candles, can I like mix those in the flowers in such a way where you're not really going to notice them? But with the shaders, it'll still be emitting the colored light, and this will actually be usable light, so mobs won't actually be able to spawn. I think this is a lot better than my other plan, which was simply just to go ahead and place lanterns on the floor of the path. I don't really think that's going to look too great. That'd be cluttered, especially when you already have these really nice lampposts that we designed. I mean, it obviously works, but I'm not too sure I like the idea of just flat out replacing my flowers. Yeah, I really don't like the idea of it like replacing my flower. So I decided just to put it a block above the flowers. This way it doesn't look like this random sore spot because the flower bed is still completed and because it's the same color as the pink flowers, of course, it just kind of blends in from a distance. And if I consistently put them on this lower layer, you ain't gonna see them at all. So I've decided that the final bit of lighting to fill whatever teeny tiny spots I have missed without overdoing it on candles, I'm gonna hide some waxed weathered copper bulbs underneath this side of the railing. And now, as you can see, the entire path here, there were a bunch of spots that weren't covered here. I'm gonna have to get a couple more copper bulbs, and I'll probably sneak them in under there, and then maybe one there. And that will finish off this path, and then I'll have to go around. Um, I could probably get some pink candles right here to cover all of this. And then other than that, I believe this entire area is completed. I can get some pink candles like right here, or I can put a copper bulb right there. Same thing over here, copper bulbs or a candle. Okay, this is just absolutely beautiful. Obviously, this isn't spawn proofed yet, but this entire left hand side, 100% spawn proofed, all looking absolutely beautiful. I do believe it is done. The only thing that I might change or add to the left hand side here is a couple just like park benches. Like I might add some benches just like here under the tree, just so there's places to sit. Other than those small details, though, this thing is completed and it looks absolutely magical. I do truly love it. And now that this is absolutely beautiful and completed, it is time for us to go ahead and shift our focus to the right hand side. Which the first thing that we actually have to do is extend the path along the side of the cathedral a little bit farther. So we got to go ahead and, of course, get ourselves some wheat. Got to go ahead and grab me some dirt. Then we got to go ahead and turn that into mud. And of course, we then have to turn that into packed mud. Now, just like we did on the other side, we have to go ahead and start putting in some railings. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting that done. All right, that didn't take very long at all. So now that we've got the path going all the way around, just like we want it to be, and our railings completely sectioned off with our pale moss carpets on top, we can now go ahead and start focusing on the inside of our flower beds. Now, on the other side, we built a giant orange tree. On this side, we're going to be building a Jakarta tree. Now, I may be pronouncing this wrong, but essentially what it is a giant, beautiful purple tree native to certain regions in Africa. Of course, to build a purple tree, we're going to need to go ahead and get some purple blocks, such as glazed purple terracotta, purple concrete, purple wool, and purple concrete powder. And for a little bit of flair, let's go ahead and get some amethyst clusters. Of course, I also went ahead and collected all of the other normal tree bits like wood and some string and of course candles because I use them in absolutely everything. Now that we've got all of that collected, let's go ahead and grow this tree, shall we? There we go, everybody. The Jakarta tree is now in place. I'm not gonna lie, it does look a little out of place. Okay, it is quite unique. I do like it. I think it adds a special kind of element. When designing it, as you can see in the trunk, I tried to make it like coiling around itself. So as you can see, the trunk starts here and it like coils around. And when you get to this point, a branch proceeds to coil around essentially to the back of the tree. So it's kind of like a little pigtail in that sense. And then once you get up to this higher point, it then branches off like a normal tree into 3 different sections for the main canopy. It is definitely unique, but I do like it. And with the shaders, amethyst clusters glow at night, or not even at night, they just glow in the dark. So at night, this whole thing looks really good. Now, of course, we need to go ahead and continue with this area. So you're probably thinking we're going to add some flower beds next. No, we are not. We're going to go ahead and fill in this little section right here with another oak tree. So real quickly, let's just go ahead and get an oak tree in here. You didn't see me fall there. Definitely not. Anyway, there we go. The oak tree is now completed and in place, looking absolutely beautiful. So now when you're walking along the path, The tree is there to add some decoration, and more importantly, when you're looking at this build as a whole from far away, it kind of frames it a little bit better, just places something right there in that spot that 100% definitely needed something. Anyway, now that this tree is actually in place, now we can go ahead and start working on the flower beds. Now, I've yet to decide what flowers I want to go in here or over there. I don't know if I want to try and mimic on the other end and do the blue orchids in here as I did over there. I have no idea what I want to put in here. I think it should be different from the flowers over there. All I know for sure is that we are continuing the pink tulips along this edge here. And we already have a farm for those. So I think we need to go back over to that farm and get some more pink tulips. All of the pink tulips have now been collected, so this should hopefully be enough to go ahead and finish this out. We're just going to take it all the way down until we run out of moss. And again, we're not doing this first level like we did over there. We're only doing the second level, and in the places where there is a third, the third level. And with that, we should have all of the tulips in place now. I did go ahead and taper it off on this edge because I want this to be able to fade into a bunch of farmland over here. So like we have the farmland up here at the starter house. The rest of this level I want to be filling in with farms all in this area, and in this area up front too, some smaller farms, maybe some more flower beds too, or just different types of flowers maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but I know I don't want the pink tulips going all the way down, so I did go ahead and taper it off. Now, before we can go ahead and carry on real quickly, we need to go ahead and get the pink candles mixed in here so that this is all spawn proofed. Let's go ahead and real quickly do that. Everything is now nicely spawn proofed along this flower bed, so the entire edge here, nothing is able to spawn. Of course, until you get to the point where the flowers stop. Now, I have made up my mind for that section right next to the cathedral, just like we did on the other end. We're going to do blue orchids once again. I do believe I had a couple left over. There we go. This definitely is not going to be enough to completely fill that in, though. This will probably be enough just to make the candles, if I'm going to be real with you. So I guess, I don't know why I'm flying away, we need to go back to the swamp. Alright, we have all of the blue orchids that we should be needing. Alrighty, now that we made it back, we just need to go ahead and place all of these blue orchids. Did I just say blue orchids? Alright, so I got all the blue orchids in. I went ahead and put in the candles, of course, so as we walk down here, you can see all of the flower bed is spawn proofed along with some of the path. Now we need to go ahead and decide what is going in our main flower bed. No, I think we got to go with the dandelions. I think we have to go with the dandelions. I do really like the wildflowers, but I think for something, I think the wildflowers are just too flat to be in this area. I think the dandelion is the way to go. It adds a little bit of shape to the thing. Otherwise, the issue with the petals is that it's just flat. It's too flat. It just kind of looks like a pattern on the ground instead of an actual flower. So we're going to have to go with the dandelions, meaning we need to go ahead and build a farm to get some dandelions. Well, I was just going to go hand pick a bunch of flowers, but then I did the math and I'm going to need like 30 stacks of dandelions. So now I do actually have to get all the redstone. All right, there we go. All of the dandelions are now in place. Of course, I still have to go ahead and add all the yellow candles, but this area is starting to look really good. And the sun is starting to set, so we can see it as one whole. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at how beautiful. Oh, that's stunning. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, we got to get the candles in, and then we have to go ahead and get our street lights in. So let's real quickly go ahead and knock both of those out and get this right-hand side completely finished. All right, everybody. So all the lighting is officially in place. I only actually ended up installing 3 of our lamp posts. You see, this side of the path doesn't actually have any ground for me to put the lamppost on, and I haven't yet decided what I want to put over here, so we're not actually going to do anything with this today. To accommodate that, I just put some torches on the back underside of this path right now, so it is lit up. Nothing is spawning on it. And then in the future, when we finally decide what we're doing on this side of the path, then we can light things up accordingly and put lampposts. This brings us to where we are now, where all we have left to do is this center area. So we have to go ahead and figure out A, how we're going to light up this center path section, and B, we get to finally build the beautiful fountain design. So rather than figuring out how to light up this flat empty area right now, we're going to turn our attention to building a beautiful fountain. So here's the thing with this fountain. I've gone ahead and prepared the space. I'm going ahead and adding in some of the blocks. Of course, this fountain is going to be a big fountain. It's going to be a beautiful fountain. Just all around, this thing is going to be pretty nice. I do want to acknowledge that I am using lanterns on this fountain. However, I do really want to substitute these out for the brand new copper lanterns coming in the future update. I'm not sure when that update's coming out, but it should be really soon. Like really, really soon. So hopefully it won't be too long until we're able to put those pretty copper lanterns in here instead. So this fountain is going to be using a lot of glass panes and diorite to manipulate the walls. As you can see, we're getting these flat sections here. And as we go up the fountain, we're going to be doing some more of that. We're working on filling in the fountain right now. Once we actually get this filled in, I can go ahead and step back and show you. Did that do it? Okay, I think we did it. There's no more flowing water. Unfortunately, as you can see, there is a leak coming out of the fountain right now. Now, in my designing process, there was that was a problem. So I figured out how to fix this. The reason it was working in my testing world is I accidentally was suppressing the update with the Axiom mod, and that's not able to be done in survival. So what I had to do was add a stair here and here, and now it works. So I got to do it on the other 3 corners, and then we can continue. Does that look good or what? This is going to be a beautiful fountain. I only got this one corner of it done so far. And even it's not fully done, of course, but little by little here, this thing is looking absolutely magical. I'm so excited to get this thing finished. The fountain is almost done. It needs a few more finishing touches. On those fence posts right here that are floating, I need to put 4 armor stands, 1 on each. And then we need to go ahead and get ourselves a dried ghast to put right on top of the very center spot. Also, I just updated this world, so we finally have access to dried ghasts. So this is going to be a first for both of us. Well, maybe not for you, but it's going to be a first for me, because I have not actually played with the happy ghasts at all yet. So let me go ahead and set up the armor stands, and then let's go get a happy ghast. I actually changed my mind about the whole dried ghast thing, and I think the dragon egg would actually look much better in that location. So we are here in the end to pick up the dragon egg. There we go. I never actually picked it up after fighting the dragon. I just kind of left it. Doesn't this whole area just look so good? It looks so magical. All right. There is the beautiful fountain. As you can see, we got some guard statues. So we can just plop that right there. Take a step back and just admire it. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Right there, you got all the flower gardens all around. We got the Jakarta tree, the orange tree, and then, of course, you enter the cathedral to be greeted with everything we did in the last episode. This area is just so incredible. All right, so that's looking pretty good, right? I think so. Now, before we can actually go ahead and finish this project, we need to go ahead and add just a couple more things. So we need to come over here, grab our pumpkins, some item frames, and, most importantly, a couple armor stands. Now, I'm sure you guys know what I do with these armor stands, like I just did on the fountain, and like I've done in the past around here with the birds and the scarecrows and all the people in the village. I do a lot with these armor stands. So, to finish off this garden project, what we're going to go ahead and do is add, I'm thinking about 5 people just walking around these paths. And then we're also going to be sure to add a bunch of colorful birds flying through the sky. So let's go ahead and figure out where we want these 5 people to go. So for these 5 people, I'm thinking I want somebody to be walking along the path here. Just kind of coming this way, I think. I also really want to have someone walking along this back section, like towards this side entrance of the cathedral, or wherever the path may lead in the future, but for now, it just goes back there. Now, as for the other 3 people that I really want to see added to this area, I want to have a person walking along the path back here. I think that's probably a pretty good spot for somebody. We could also go ahead and add a person in here, just kind of looking at the flowers, I think, so they can be leaning on the railing. And then I guess we're going to do 6 people because the final people that I would like to add to this area is somebody leaning into the fountain. We're going to put them over here. So they're just going to be, so over here, we're going to have somebody standing, like looking into the fountain, but we're also going to have a small armor stand. So they're going to be over here with their child. And we'll have them holding arms and pointing in the fountain. And then in the fountain, I think we're going to use the item frames to have some coins thrown in here. And we can use emeralds for that. And we'll just kind of have some coins thrown inside the fountain. Just like that. All right, so I'm happy to announce that all of the emeralds are properly placed inside of the fountain, and all of the armor stands are appropriately positioned, looking absolutely wonderful. Of course, as you can tell, the only thing missing from these armor stands is leather armor, meaning I have to go figure out where I'm about to get like 4 stacks of leather. I'm really going to have to make some sort of a leather farm soon because not having a way to farm this stuff when I use as many of these armor stand statues as I do really ain't working for me. I only have 3 pieces of leather. That can't even make me a pair of boots. This is not going to be much fun. So to go ahead and make breeding the cows easier, I've logged in a second account, given him some garbage armor or whatever. He is going to breed the cows while I come over here and focus on placing in birds. This way, the simulation distance actually reaches because I have been lowering it bit by bit as time goes on because, well, when I use as many armor stands as I do, it gets laggy. So I have to keep lowering the simulation distance. But he is now over there so he can take care of breeding the cows and I don't have to fly back and forth. And now while we wait for the leather, we can go ahead and get some birdies. So I've got 14 armor stands, 14 pumpkins. We're going to do 2 batches of 7 birds. Now, I think a prime example of this is down here in the fishing village. We've got 1 batch of 7 birds right here, and it looks pretty good. So we're going to do 2 of 7, and of course, we're going to make sure to make them all bright, pretty colors. I think we need 1 batch of birds flying like right here, in front of the cathedral in this section, and then the other batch of birds, I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go yet, so let's just focus on this first batch. So 7 pumpkins. So we're going to get 7 birds. These are all red, of course. And then we're going to go ahead and change our colors. So we're going to do 2 red, Let's get a couple yellow, and then we'll make the rest of them blue. Now, I know it looks like an absolute mess, but once we actually make these armor stands invisible, turn off gravity, it'll look pretty good. But I think this is going to be where we put our first batch of birds. So they'll be flying like right in front of the cathedral. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and make them all invisible, turn off gravity, and then we can lock them and remove the scaffolding. All right, that should do it. So we can go ahead and remove these. Look at them birdies, looking good. All right, let's pick this up, take a step back. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, it's very subtle because it's only 7 birds. They're small, of course. Very subtle. From a distance, you don't even really notice them. But as you're walking along, you see them, you zoom in, you look up. It's just a real nice little touch. All right, so we have enough to add one more batch of birds. So what side should this go on? Left or right? I feel like we should put them on the left-hand side because the right obviously is not done. We have to, of course, figure out what we're going to do back there and along here. This is going to be an area that continues to develop along with all of this. This side, it's essentially done. I plan to put in some mountains back here, so that'll kind of finish it off. There's not going to be anywhere that this goes. Of course, it's on the edge of the cliff. Like, it's on the edge of a cliff here. It's not going any farther. This is pretty much the end of development for the left-hand side. So I think we need to go ahead and put it over here as a final detail. And I kind of want to see them flying like away from the tree, like out of the tree over the poppies, I believe. So I think we're going to go to the middle of the poppies and we're going to have them kind of going this way. Yeah, right here, we'll have them going out that way. So I'm going to go ahead, start getting my scaffolding in place, and let's see what I can cook up. All right, that should do it. We can go ahead and break that, put our poppy back. There are our birdies. Looking real good. So over here, I chose to go with pink, yellow, and orange birds. I do have green ones, but I thought they would blend in too well from pretty much any angle other than this one. So I didn't do that, but they look really good. I'm very happy with these. Again, they're subtle, but they add enough of a pop of color and just a touch of detail to the sky that it just helps immerse you in the environment, and it feels wonderful. So I still don't have anywhere near enough leather to dress the armor stands yet. So while we wait for the leather, there's one more thing that we can do. We still have to actually figure out how we are going to be spawn proofing this section. I also need to figure out how to spawn proof right here, apparently. But I think that's going to be pretty easy. This, I'm not sure what I want to do. I decided to go ahead and just use some copper bulbs to light up the entrances to the cathedral. Very basic, very easy, I know. But I do think it looks good, and at nighttime, the glow coming off of it, pretty nice. Also, I already have the copper bulbs down here, so I don't really think this is like unexpected or anything. Now, to light up these sections, I've come up with a pretty cool idea, I think. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put a copper bulb 1 block down, and then we're, of course, going to light it up. But then on top of it, we're going to put a waxed exposed copper grate. So my thought with this is, the light still comes up to light things up, but it's supposed to look kind of like a sewer drain. So after it rains, the water just goes down there. Hopefully, this will light everything up appropriately. I don't really want to have to put in more, but like a spot like this, if I have to, I could add another thing of candles, maybe. I'm not sure, but hopefully these will get the job done. I got those grates in. Unfortunately, not everything is perfectly lit up. However, I do have a very easy way to get a bit more lighting in here. We're just going to add some pink candles over here and over there. So I've determined that even with these candles in, I need one light source right here on this block And that will be enough to light the entire area. Almost the entire area. And it will be enough to light the entire area. I don't really know what I want to put here though, because I'm not putting another lighting grate. So I might just put a lantern or something right here. I don't think one lantern on the floor is that terrible. It's not a perfect solution, and maybe I'll come up with something better in the future, but as for right now, I'm just going to leave a lantern right here. I don't really see much of a problem with it at the moment. Again, hopefully I come up with something better in the future. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. I could, I suppose, leave it dark, but I would really prefer if everything was 100% spawn proof. But it does look really good as a whole. So I'm not really going to complain about that one lantern. I now have all of the leather needed to clothe all 6 armor stands. So let's go ahead, get all of these armor stands fully dressed so we can finish off the project. Well, there you have it, everybody. The Cathedral Gardens are now officially completed and looking absolutely beautiful. I'm so incredibly pleased with how immersive these gardens came out to be, and I hope you all loved the journey just as much as I did, and I hope you'll love the end result just as much as I do. Thank you all so much for watching. Also, don't forget I do now have a Discord server. I will leave the link down below for you all to join. And to celebrate the launch of this brand new Discord server, I will be giving away 1 free Minecraft Villager Experience Cape code. So, not only should you join the server to support me and be a part of the community, but if you want a chance to win the Minecraft Villager Experience Cape, you should be sure to join the Discord server and enter the giveaway. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.